All right, guys. Welcome. Welcome. All right, so let's talk, y'all. Let's do a quick one. Didn't do yesterday, but we'll do tonight. Obviously it is because I'm here talking to you right now. Give me a second. Got a tweet from one of my peoples. I need to text them back. But what I gotta talk about, y'all, is something that um I tweeted today um about coaching. And I just want to elaborate on it without having a restriction on how many characters I could use. Um, so here's the thing, man, is that it's interesting when I would say this, as I've said, when a rabbit has the gun, the narrative changes, and it bothers me to the nth degree because coaches have been able to go into your living room, eat your food. Your parents or is in whoever is your guardian, let's just say, your parents, cousin, whatever it is, who's taking care of you, they have to go above and beyond they feel like because they have a potential new family member. Because coaches really become part of your family. And they want to show hospitality and welcome coaches into their homes and in hope of their kid getting a free education. Those coaches come in there and say all kinds of good things, right? With you as a parent, guardian, etc., with the expectations that your kid, son or daughter, will have the chance to learn from said individual for 4 years. But that same coach, rightfully so, if there is a situation, an opportunity that arises that can better the future of himself and his family, he has the right and should take the opportunity. We don't really bark at that too much as athletes because that's the name of the game. But now, but now, when players are able to do it, now it's an issue. And um, I feel like that's not right. I feel like that's not right. I feel like there the whole notion of like I said, I've seen coaches say, "Well, the kids today, we don't allow them to overcome adversity, or what happens in real life when things don't go right, and are they equipped to handle those situations?" Um, the other thing is the entitlement issue, um, making good decisions, etc. But that's just a scam to me. That's just word salad to me. Because if I graduated high school at 17. As a 17-year-old, you're going to some coaches are saying that you are requiring me as a 17-year-old and my parents are going to make the right decision every time. And I don't have the ability to right my wrong. Now, you want me to have the ability to right my wrong, but now you want to also penalize me a year of eligibility if I make the wrong decision. Or I'm gonna go back to this because it I was talking to I think I was talking to my sister over the break. And the question is, oh yeah, taking my daughter on the college visit. And it was like, we talking about what did we do to determine where we were gonna go? Because my sister went on a scholarship, basketball scholarship. I of course went on a football scholarship. And I say that I really didn't do anything right in my recruiting visit. I was fortunate, to be honest with you. I didn't look at who was on the team, who was already on the team. Remember, this is 92, 93. Had no idea. Really didn't know the coach very well. Only person I knew was Coach Archer, who used to coach at LSU. But I didn't know Coach Smith very well. Met him a couple times, and that's it. Didn't take into account a lot of things that I tell kids to take into account now. So I was fortunate. And here's why. Because the school I really want to go to was Southern Mississippi. Southern Miss happened to not have mechanical engineering as a degree. So I had to say no. And I had Mississippi State and Kentucky was probably 1 and 2, to be honest with you, if I really think about it. I love Lexington. There's something about Lexington, something about the facilities that we had. I want people to understand the facilities we had in 1992 to 93 were one of the tops in conference. I took junior visits to Ole Miss, Alabama. I was in Arkansas, obviously LSU, Mississippi State. I was at about half of the SEC schools in Kentucky had one of the best in '93. So those kind of things. Cats was another thing that was a big deal to me. So when Southern Miss, which I was going to commit when I went on my visit, when I found out they didn't have an ME degree, I had to say no. The funny thing is the DB coach whom I really, really liked. I think we had a connection. We had a bond. I went to Southern Miss camp. I really enjoyed. I really thought that he would be my coach for the next 4 years of my life. Name was Everett Withers. So now here's the funny part about it. Check this shit out. So if I would have went to Southern Miss in '93, Chase, man, wonder what program you use to dissect your games. Miss Dartfish, Chase. So I would have went to Southern Miss in '93. Coach Withers left the next year. So I would have only been under his tutelage for 1 year. That would have sucked. I don't know who the next DB coach was. I mean, obviously the defensive coordinator I like, the defensive line coach was a recruiter. But when you spend the most time with your position coach and to not have him as my DB coach would have sucked. Because I was going to Southern Miss for Coach Bowers and for Coach Withers. What was funny is that this that's wrong. This coach left there, went somewhere else, and then coach at Louisville. My senior year, I made a play on Louisville sideline, and I looked over. I'm like, that looked like Coach Withers. What the hell? I'm like, nah, I can't be. Because I'm thinking he's still at USMC. Back in those days, the internet wasn't where you can just search on internet, social media, and find out everything. No, you just knew what was happening in your area. So After the game, he runs up to me like, Coach Withers, what the hell you do? At Louisville at that. And we had a little quick conversation. He left USM. I can't remember to go somewhere else and he ended up at Louisville. So he was able to hip hop and jump to a couple opportunities. But me as a player, if I would have went to Southern Miss, one of the main reasons I would have went to Southern Miss was because of him. And now I would have had to transfer and sit out a year. And now I'm the one that's complaining about entitlement and fighting through adversity and learning life lessons and et cetera that people put on student athletes. But that damn coach doesn't have the same damn thing. It's unfair. And I don't think it's right. So now, because players have the ability to control their own destiny, I'm not saying it's going to always be great decisions. I'm not saying that some people are not going to take advantage of the situation. That's not what it is. But you are going to hurt a kid's potential because you want to have control over them. And don't tell me that's accountability. It's not right. And here's the thing is yes, this new era of NCAA's college sports is different. And it makes coaching harder. I get it. You're also making a hell of a lot more money than those guys made in the 90s, in the 80s. So don't give me, oh, it's just so we gotta keep recruiting kids all the time. Even the guys we bringing in, we gotta bring. Nah. Stop the whining. Nothing in life stays the same. Accept the challenge of the change. Yes, it sucks. I get it. Yes, it makes your job harder. But stop putting the blame on the kids. Because they are kids. And even though they might make the wrong decision, allow them to make the mistakes that you keep harping on about dealing with adversity when they keep hip hop in school. Same thing goes on to you. I just think it's BS, man. And and I'm just glad. And I'm an old guy, but the I'm not going to rain down on young kids because they didn't have to do what I had to do. Because I didn't have to do what my dad had to do and his peers. So I don't want to hear it. Yes, I wish I had this situation, but I'm glad I didn't. And just because these kids have this opportunity doesn't mean they're bad kids. The same way how we had advantages when I was in school, and I hope the guys before me that well, these guys suck because they have these advantages. Everything changed. So on Darth is a game from art. No, no, Chase. It's like you think of content creators. You got to edit. You got to splice. There's a whole bunch of other stuff behind the scenes. Dartfish allows me to put the film on the screen and show draw arrows, highlight players. That's all. Pope gotta go. I understand. I will vehemently disagree at this point. Levitt going to LSU visits tragic. Yeah. Um, Chase, I get it from online. ESPN, you can screen record if you want. The D tackle from LSU, I would have to look at it more. I'm not sure. I don't want to go off of stats and all that stuff. Um, I'm really not sure about him, Brandon. MPLG, I'm not so sure about it. I would say this. Here's the thing. here's the thing where I want you guys to understand is that I would say this for the D line, for the D tackle. Anwar Stewart likes him enough to bring him in. And that's all I want. The same thing with Levitt is, does Will Stein and Sloan like him, bring him in. Now obviously he has the gun now. He makes his decision on where he wants to go. If he goes to LSU, he goes to LSU. I want people to understand is that this recruiting thing, even before NIL and the portal, all this recruiting stuff is always in the hands of the athlete. It's the last time an athlete has the ability to decide his own destiny. College coaches have to lay out the red carpet. They have to do everything to entice you to come to their university. So just because we hit someone first or bring them in from the portal first and on a visit first, all that stuff, it does not matter. It takes two to tango. And sometimes people say, well, you can't close. It's more than that. It's more than that. I really want to, this is when I want people to think outside of the school that you love. We had to cook for 9 different coaches that came into Low Gator. 9 though. Why 9? Low Gator. No, that's not Low Gator. It's Low GA Top. 22 low. Why 9? You should only have 5. You only have 5 visits. You only have 5 visits. So why 9? Or that's just 9 different coaches from 5 different institutions or 2 or 3 institutions. You're just saying 9 people or 9 different schools. So here's the deal, y'all. I want y'all to be honest. And this is where I lie in this situation. Let's be 100% honest and transparent. All right? If your kid, let's say your kid was Sam Levitt. I don't know if I'm saying this last name right. Going to LSU so tough, I don't want to count us out yet, but I know if they got. See, I'm going to just tell y'all right now, they definitely want them, but money talks. LSU wants to pay. They got more money. LSU definitely have more money. Man, you speaking logical like it. Thank you, Mr. Is that Miss Pollard? I can't see him in my glass. Pollard, thanks. I appreciate it. Look, here's the deal. If your kid is Sam Levitt, money is the same. You're not affiliated with Kentucky or LSU. Which program are you sending or are you advising your kid to go to? I hate LSU. I despise LSU. I'm going to tell y'all the story for me. So, when I was being recruited, Curly Harmon was the coach at LSU. And I was small at the time. I grew between my senior year and my freshman year in college a lot. Grew 3 inches, gained like 10, 15 pounds, something crazy. Because I was 17 when I graduated. But here's the deal. Curly Harmon came to my school and told my head coach, he's like, look, Van is too small to play quarterback, which was true. I was like 5'9.5", close to 5'10". But then he said I wasn't fast enough to play corner. So he's like, he's that tweener, and he's not big enough to play safety. Even though in high school I played every position on defense except middle linebacker and defensive line. You want to call it nickel, outside linebacker, nickel. I played that. Obviously played corner, played safety. I played it all. But I was too small in his eyes to play safety. So they were lukewarm on recruitment. So I played in the All-Star game and I was offensive MVP. Once I became offensive MVP, now they're on me hot. I'm like, whatever. So I was supposed to go on a visit, and I last minute called them. I wasn't going. I wasn't going anyway. I wasn't going anyway. But I waited. That was my get back. Um. So I hate LSU. But if my son had a choice and he's a quarterback to play for Lane Kiffin at LSU with a shit ton of resources that could potentially have my son play with top-notch players, even as a Kentucky grad, alum, love Kentucky, he's going to LSU. He's going to LSU. I'm sorry. That's just, I want the best for my kid. And the best situation for my kid is with Lane Kiffin at LSU. You know, some people saying the bag is the bag. Look, if my son is Sam Levitt, I'm getting millions out of this. I'm getting millions out of this. I'm going to get $3-4 million out of it. For me, I have a better shot of preparing for the NFL at LSU than Kentucky. Let's just be honest. And going to LSU is just a better path to where my son will want to go. Now, if he comes to me and say, Dad, I want to go where you go, I'll be like, that's what I'm talking about. But if he asks me, what do I feel? Personally, I'll be like, dude, it'll be hard to pass up LSU. So it that's what I'm just being honest. So these things where somebody's gonna say that Will Stein couldn't close or JMI was the linchpin and the whole deal or blah 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 this reason. Sometimes we have to be honest and just say that that situation is better for my son. So I mean that's it's it's hard, man. But we were shooting a tough battle once Sam left Lexington. Now, if Sam didn't leave Lexington, obviously we closed the deal. But if once he left Lexington without committing, there's too many good school options. And I mean, you got LSU. What is Miami gonna do? Does Miami Sorsby is at Texas Tech apparently? So if he don't go to LSU, he's probably gonna get to Miami. If he didn't sign yesterday, I don't think he signs. I just don't think he signs. We'll see. I got some questions to answer. As always, guys, this is called Let's Talk. So I'm gonna try to answer all your questions if I can. The TikToks are just scrolling. How is it good for a kid to jump in port area and never develop? It seems like some kids are gonna win. This currency is about a lot are gonna get lost. Brandon, here's the problem. Here's the thing that a lot of people are not talking about. And it happened to apparently a kid at Texas. Is this with the portal? I tell kids, I've said this many times on other platforms, is I was told when I got to Kentucky, is every year we're recruiting someone to potentially replace you. Don't ever feel comfortable. This is not high school where if you start as a freshman, pretty much you're going to start 4 years. This is a situation we're recruiting people to be better than you because our livelihood is online. We're trying to get better as a program. So some of these kids are, and this is even when I play, is a coach can make your life a living hell if they want your scholarship. They can't say we're gonna take your scholarship, but they can make it a living hell where you be like, Coach, all right, I'm out. Same thing in the portal. When they're able to bring in talented kids year in year out, you might get lost. And Brand, I said this many times, is that some kids, and this is a good thing to me for the portal, is that when I played, you had those borderline kids that were not quite I would say this, was not quite Power Five talent, but since they and maybe the athlete that such and such school wanted, that kid was somebody else, so they had to take that borderline kid. That borderline kid doesn't play well. Fans get like, why do we waste all scholarship on that kid? Well, because the other kid went to Auburn. So he was our next guy, borderline kid. So now, for me, those borderline kids who probably shouldn't be at a P5, a P4 school now, needs to humble themselves and go down to G5 or go down to FCS or go down to D2 and develop. You're not going to develop as much in a Power 4 situation as you would do in the lower ones. Because coaches ain't got time. So for me, I honestly think it hurts high school recruiting in a way because those kids who would get a high D1 scholarship now are not getting them. I actually think that's advantageous for them to humble themselves. And that's why you get these Chambliss that went to Ferris State and now balled out at Ole Miss. Humble yourself, develop your craft, and then elevate later in your career. Because now, obviously, you can leave whenever you want to. Unless he vies with Stein more than Lane. PLG, I don't know if that's a strong statement. I don't know, man. We are fishing in Texas and Louisiana waters. Baylor Center may commit Texas wide receiver. We're living on the coach's name as a recruiting draw that's in there. Make it easy to get someone from a region we don't normally recruit. I don't know, Steven, because it used to be about relationships. I think those days are done. I don't know. The advantages we have some guys from Texas, it does help. I don't know how much it's gonna help. Let's see what Oregon does in a few days. How does the kid not watch Oregon say Stein can't do that for me? Because Gadget, because we are not Oregon. You know the amount of talent Oregon has up and down their roster is just different. All right, Tiki Talks, I'm coming to you, baby. Reading the comments. The lab is gonna LSU. Read that one. We definitely want them, but money up. All right. But honestly, we spent $4 million on him. We don't have money elsewhere, so I'm cool either way. I'm not mad at you, Sammy, with that. I'm gonna just say this: having that quarterback makes a difference, man. It makes everybody better. Like I said on the last part, having a dude at quarterback affects the entire, not just the team, the entire building. It makes a difference. I would rather spend $4 million on him because he can make the O line better. I'd rather go there and I'm just tell you, for example, when Colorado had Shador and when Miami had Cam Ward, and I can only speak for these because I watched the games. I watched every snap of both of those teams. Their O-line sucked, both of them. Neither one of them could run the ball. Neither team had a running game. And both quarterbacks were running for their life 35 to 40% of the time. But their playmaking ability, because the ball is in their hand all the time, made those teams successful. So a quarterback, even with a average to below average O-line, an elite quarterback, not just a good quarterback, an elite quarterback can rectify some of those issues and some of those warts that you have at other positions. That guy has the ball in his hands all the time. And if he is elite, he can change the outcome of every game. Now, if they face a team with unbelievable defense, you can come into an issue. But if they're playing good defenses and they have good enough receivers, you can overcome a porous O line. It's not easy, but it's been done. I'm an Ole Miss fan, though. I appreciate that, man. Okay, Jay Hayes, one bag, two. Who's going to protect quarterback? What target will be throwing to scheduling? I'm going to just tell you this, uh, Jay Hayes. LSU can get all that. They are going to get people to a protect. That's not a worry. You don't think that Ole Miss might be quarterback U these days? We had Manny, Corral, Dart. Quarterback U is a strong statement. I would say no. I mean, you look at Ohio State the last years. We talking about college, not the NFL. Ohio State had a run of 4 or 5 quarterbacks, and one of them was Joe Burrow that went to LSU. So if you want to call him, that's another one. If Sam goes to LSU, who do you want to see the next man up to be? Man, I don't know. That's a tough one. Because kids have been tagged to other places. Let me think of quarterbacks that I can think of off the top of my head. I can't think of one. Let me go online and I'll get you one. I'll get you. I'm gonna come up with one. I really don't know off the top. I'm gonna be honest with you. I watch a lot of football, but I don't watch every team. So see, I like the kid from North Texas, but oh, he's already committed to Oklahoma State because that's where his coach went. Get it? That makes sense. I need to do just position. Let's go quarterback. Here's the thing I've said, y'all. I've said this many times. You don't need to get the name brand. Look, Ole Miss is playing with Ferris State alum. You need a guy that meshes well with Will Stein. Let's see. He's going there. Austin Simmons already went to Missouri. Shit, y'all. Yeesh. It's giving. If these portal quarterbacks are. Who asked me that question? Uh, uh, if Sam Levitt is there, Ernest? Ernest. Whew, there is nobody on this list that's a difference maker. I don't know, man. If you lose out on Sam, I would kick the tires of DJ Lagway. Jeez. All the guys are gone. I don't like Aiden Childs. But if I had to, I guess I'm stuck with DJ Lagway, Childs from Michigan State. Yee. That's that's a stretch, y'all. But as I'm looking at the portal quarterbacks, those are only two to me that seems like can be semi difference maker. Only way he doesn't go to LSU is if Kiffin likes someone else. That's true, but I don't think there's anybody else. I just looked at the portal quarterbacks. Who's that? Samuel. I think he's the best one out there. If Sorsby goes to Texas Tech, I don't see how Levitt doesn't need to go to Miami or LSU. I would send my kids to LSU, but not with Lane. I generally absolutely correct. What happens if Chambers decides he wants to play again? I don't think Chambers is going to get that extra year. If Chambers gets the extra year, I think Levitt goes to Miami. My son gonna tell him my dad wants a million too. You damn right, Jay. I wouldn't want my kids playing for somebody who's shown he would have mid playoff run. Really? Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're an Ole Miss fan. I got you. that's not his fault. That's the damn timing of the whole damn college schedule. It took a lot to get Cal to UK in as a Kentucky. Oh, for sure, Pollard. I'm gonna just tell you this: Cal shouldn't have came to Kentucky, and I was on that team. We will be okay. Portal should never open before the season. I think player exactly. Lagway still floating around in the Deuce Knight, and I don't want Dylan. Deuce Knight. Deuce Knight. Who the hell is Deuce Knight? Deuce Knight played at Auburn. No, I don't probably want Deuce Knight either. Oh, Jackson Florida. We got a Louisville person in the house. Jackson, he hasn't committed anywhere. I trust Stein with whoever he gets. Exactly, go Big Blue. Stein is going to find the right guy, and that's right. If Noah Stein is looking elsewhere, he might come to yes. Hoover went to Indiana, didn't he? I think so. The TCU guy went to Indiana. Quarterback from Elon's supposed to visit. Kiffin wants the Ole Miss kid. I heard multiple times. Yeah, but I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if Chambers is gonna get that extra year. How about the four defensive guys we got from the portal? Who is that? Man, is that James? James. I like the way you got James in there. Let me look at it, James. I know they got what a DB, a defensive lineman, or two DBs. I haven't been able to look at film yet. I'm not sure. Before Stoops, all our best quarterbacks were Kentucky boys. Yeah, y'all. It. Ooh, now you said it. You're right. You're right. And one of those guys is Billy Jack. I want y'all to remember Billy Jack Haskins. I still maintain the best quarterback of Stoops ever, Steven Johnson. Bingo. PLG. We're on the same track. Without Steven Johnson, there's no Stoops playing here for coaching here for 13 years. What's up, John? Man, this is Kendrick. Oh, oh, that's right, man. You see these your tag change. Yeah. Oh, my name is changed. We had the head coaches and defense coordinators, linebacker coach. So yeah, okay, that makes sense because Quez, we had to throw out the red carpet. I got you. Deuce Knight didn't play but one game at Auburn. Yeah, Joshua went to Indiana. Billy Jack, Tim, Jared, Andre, for sure. BL. I'm gonna say this again. I'm a big fan of Billy Jack because we misuse Billy Jack. I want people to understand the high school records Tim Couch broke was Billy Jack's records. Billy Jack came to Kentucky and changed his identity to play at the home state school. Big time kudos to Billy Jack because he was a passer and it made him something that he really wasn't. But he took on that challenge and was great for us. So much I've gained so much respect for Billy Jack after we played than I probably had when we played. Probably didn't have enough respect for him when we played, even though I did. But my level of respect grew so much after we played. And then when you learn and you look back and you see all the stuff he had to endure during his time, man, it's crazy. And I'll say this about Brandon brings up Pookie. Here's the thing about Pookie, and people don't understand either. We went to the bowl game in '93. That wasn't supposed to be our best team. The next year is supposed to be our best team. And we only won one game. And the reason why we won one game is because Pookie went to play baseball. If Pookie is a quarterback in 1994, that team, we win way more than one game. And not just two, not just three. I think we coming off of the should have been 75 season 6-6 because Marty Moore didn't get down after he picked off the ball at the end of the game. If we win 75, I think we go at least that the next season with Pookie as quarterback. Saxon said, "Are you happy with new staff taking these big swings?" You have to take the big swings. Now the thing is, can the fans endure the amount of strikeouts that we might have taking the big swings? PLG, yes, I graduated the year prior, and I will say this with that: if Hal Mummy would have left Coach Rick Smith as defensive coordinator and kept that, I know you can't keep the whole defensive staff, but kept some of those guys on the defense, they would have won 8 games that year in '97. Kiffin wants the Ole Miss kid. I heard you played with Couch. I played. Couch was a freshman my last year. Chambers is good enough to be a solid NFL backup. Shane Boyd was my guy back when. I think we want Zach outside. Zach is out of eligibility anyway. Hoops and Company seem to be fine. JUCO. Still my favorite game ever at coming with. Man, I was with the Bears at that time. I want a little change off of that. I want a little change off of that game. That was big, man. I can only imagine how Commonwealth was rocking that Saturday. I have season ticket to ASU, not a Sam Levitt fan. Oh, Fatal, why? Now tell me more. Is it because he was hurt and apparently he got hurt doing some stupid shit? Is that the reason why? Because 2024, Sam was a bastard in a good way, a good one. He was unbelievable in 2024. Him with Scatterboo was a problem. Now he didn't take them to the CLP. Oh, see, there you go. All right, rightfully so. It Scatterboo was a dog, but if you don't give Sam his piece of the pie in that year, I don't know, man. Uh, I'm gonna just tell you this, Fatal. Sam is gonna be successful in the SEC. I promise you. He has the ability. What about the quarterback from Auburn? Nah, I don't want him. I don't want him. Quarterback on the current roster, Sam Wilstein may be able to. I mean, is is Ward still? Did Ward enter the portal? Because then Stone Saunders enter the portal. So who do you have? You just have Ward on the. Oh, and Ponatowski. So you have 2 quarterbacks. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You want to go into the season with a true freshman, a redshirt freshman as your quarterback room. Um, I y'all, I'm looking at the list. The guy that piqued my interest was a guy from was Drew from North Texas, but obviously his coach from the Oklahoma State and he left. So that is a no. Then the next guy, man, what year is Deuce Knight? Deuce is a class of 25. I'll say this, and I'll say this again. If Will Stein likes him enough, sure. But I'm telling you, I would kick the tires on DJ Lagway. I and I here's the deal with Lagway, in my opinion, is from what I heard, and I've heard this from alums I played against at Florida, is that he never had an off season because he's always battling injury. DJ Lagway in Texas, in high school Texas football, was a dude. Worse than Kyler Murray, and worse in a good way. Oh, it didn't work out for him at Florida. I don't think you just throw him away. With all the other guys gone, dude, he is the best option. Because I do not like Dylan Raiola. I just don't. And I'm not sure about Deuce Knight. I I if Will Stein and Joe Sloan are the whispers, and Joe Sloan got Jaden Daniels to become that Jaden Daniels, I think you can get DJ or Aiden from Michigan State, and you might have to roll with them. I'm looking at the list now, and those to me are your best options. I don't know. Do you think we play 3-4 or 4-3? I think, Steven, I think we are going to be multiple as usual because you have to be multiple. I think we're going to be base odd man front. So I think we're going to be a base of a 3-4. But just think we need to get Jerison in a year early. Would love for that to work. It probably won't. MLB draft might take Ponatowski, but I've heard from people that I've just heard know that he wants to play college football for at least a year. I agree, but Lagway is a backup option if it doesn't come without problems, though. Um, Brandon said a 4.25. We'll see. We'll see. Because that was more Elko's defense. Um, Probably gonna get Oregon's bag up. See, I don't have a problem with Novosad. I would think he knows the offense and that transition would be easier. I remember being a freshman at Johnson Central when we played them. We don't have enough in the piggy bank, so he is also very arrogant. Okay. But fatal. Most quarterbacks are arrogant. I would say this: most football players are arrogant. Most really good football players they teeter on the line between self confidence and arrogance. We all do. Larry has potential if he can get away from the turnovers. Here's the thing. This is for Lagway. And I'm not that high on Lagway over some of the other guys, but since some of the other guys are gone, I think Lagway is your best choice. Now, it's not going to hype fans up because you saw him play at Florida and we beat Florida. I get it. But if Will Stein and Joe Sloan are supposed to be the guys they're supposed to be, it is what it is. They are the developers. Get the guy in and develop him. I, he is the best available guy on the list of what I see. Yeah, but restaurants are the places he treats people bad from what I have gathered. Certain arrogance comes with that level of playing. Yeah, I don't know. I remember that story about you and Mo arriving late for a meeting. PLG, that, y'all, I'll tell this again. Well, where are we at? 48 minutes. We got 10 plus minutes to talk. Y'all, PLG brings up this story, and I'm going to say it again. It's a great story. So, y'all, I am a guy who lived by the mantra, if you're 5 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late. So, this was 95? I think it's 1995. Yes, it was 95 we played at home. 1995, we were playing LSU. It's LSU, y'all. I can't miss that game. So I get to the facilities early. Met up with my then girlfriend. We talking out in a parking lot outside of Nutter. Now remember, this is a time where you didn't have cell phones. All you had was a wristwatch. And talking, and I got there early, y'all. Talking. Damn. I lost track of time. So if you don't know the facilities, I'm on the what's the street? Damn it. I'm on the side that's closer to the stadium. And I'm like, damn, I think I'm late. And I'm half jogging to the facility and out walk um uh, Coach Archer and the look on his face. I don't know if he was coming to try to find me or not, but the look on his face was of disgust. Because I was the starting corner. So I'm like, shit. So then I hightail into the locker room. And in our locker room, we had two entrances to the main room where where the whole team meets and Coach Curry addressed the whole team. So there's two entrances to that room. It's the locker room entrance and it's from the meeting room side, the locker room, the meeting room. So the thing about it is, it's kind of like how Deion does with Colorado. Once he stands in front of the team at the podium, it doesn't matter what the time says. You're late. Once he gets up to the podium, he can give that 6 minutes early, 2 minutes early, 3 minutes. It doesn't matter. Once he gets up at the podium, it's game. So I run into the locker room because that's the closest side to me coming from the entrance closer to the stadium. And once I opened the door, because we didn't have little windows, it was like, oh, damn. Everybody's seated. The whole team is seated. Everybody like, oh, shit. Well, it is what it is. Next thing is, the other door opened. So when I opened mine, Coach Curry looked at me with the same kind of down disgust that Coach Archer looked at me when I was entering the building. And then I heard another and it's Mo Williams. Coach Curry looks at me. He looks at Mo. He looks at me. He looks at Mo. Looks at his watch. And he says, you know what, guys? Y'all made it just in time. So we were able to sit down. I was able to start. And I made the game sealing interception to seal the game. But if it wasn't for Mo Williams, I don't know what happened. I definitely wouldn't have started. I probably wouldn't have played the first half. But because my man Mo came in, it saved my life. So that's funny. Dude, that was, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, PLG. That's a classic, man. That's a classic because I was dead to rights. And I couldn't say anything. I was done because I don't think I was technically late, but I was late because Coach Curry's at the podium. I might have been I might have had like a minute, but like I said, you're 5 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late. So I was technically late anyway. But yeah, that one sticks, man. Crazy times, man. So other thing, um, basketball, man. I appreciate that, PLG. Y'all, you know, I was on Cutlass Show a lot during the season. I don't know what's gonna happen since football is over. But I was on Cutlass Show once a week pretty much. Hopefully we can continue that. I appreciate your dedication to listening to the Cutlass Show with me on PLG when I was on. I appreciate that. The women's basketball team, man, is legit. And I said this preseason. And this is before Asia Boone became. She's my second favorite player. Toni Morgan's my first. But for this team to be where they are. That episode of you and Marty. Yeah, good old Marty. Bruh, this women's basketball team, I said it's on the Cutlass Show. My prediction was that this team is going to be in the SEC championship tournament game for a shot to have a really 2, 3 seed in the tournament. They are that good. Hopefully, y'all pray as much as you can that Tiani Key comes back as quick as possible. Apparently it's a dislocated elbow. It's on the non-shooting arm. She's probably out 4 weeks, probably at the minimum. I know football players. I played with a guy dislocated elbow. I know it took him maybe 5 weeks to get back. But that's also you have to brace. So I don't know. But I say she's probably out a month. So that's in the February. So hopefully we can get her for the tournament run. But this team is good, man. I didn't believe that we could replace Georgia Amoore with anyone. Her impact last year was enormous. And Tony Parker has filled those shoes almost to the fullest. Asia Boone has, I sent out a tweet about D-Law last year. We didn't hype, not we, but I don't think D-Law got the credit. She as much credit as she deserved last year. D-Law was the difference maker to me. And I think that's the same thing with Asia Boone. Asia Boone to me is that person I didn't expect. I don't know if anybody expected her to be as good. And this is the thing is with Key going down, you can still start Obi, Strack, and Hassett as your front court and roll with Morgan and Asia as your backcourt. And I think that's fine. You lose some depth. Lexi Blue and KK are going to have to lace them up tight. We're gonna have to find another guard. Is that gonna be Givens? I don't know. But we can't get in foul trouble because we lost those 5 fouls. But this team, even with Key down, is still a problem. Because you still got height. And Lexi Blue and KK come in, we're not going to 5'4" guards. They are 6-footers. They're not as they more perimeter people. But Strack's got to stay out of foul trouble for us to be able to hold the fort down with Key being out. But man, this team, they beat a good Missouri team by 20 plus. This team is legit. I just hope we're able to hold the fort down. With Key's gonna be down for, we'll see. I think it's gonna be a month. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it can be shorter, but I don't. If it's dislocated, I don't see how she can come back quicker. So hopefully we can do well. I thought I looked at the schedule. We play Oklahoma pretty soon, though. We play Oklahoma next week. So, shit, it's going to be tough. But this team can do it. I think Asia Boone can play the extra minutes. I think he'll have to be the starter. And I think we're still good. I mean, you just lose the ability to bring Asia off the bench because you were starting Morgan, Hassett, Key, Strack, and Obi. So now Boone's just got to start. And Lexi's going to have to give you some big minutes as a shooter. Now, she's a big guard. She's bigger than Asia, so it should help. But we'll see. The combination of Obi, Strack, and Hassett are going to have to play bigger minutes. Or we can go to a 3-guard lineup. But someone's gonna have to pick up their minutes. It stinks because this team was starting to roll. They were starting to gain that traction, and it just sucks that this injury happened on that kind of play. I hate when kids dive on the ball, take kids' legs out, and she tried to brace herself, and bam, now we out a key player, pun intended. Sucks, man, because I'm telling you, I think this team had a chance, man. Because I'm telling you, South Carolina is not as dominant as they have been. They still probably the best team in the conference, but it's not dominant best team in the conference. And I think with our size that we have this year, we had a chance to really, with Key being healthy, which she is going to be healthy. I think we played them later in the season. We play South Carolina in March, so she might have a couple games on her belt. Vanderbilt, man, what Vanderbilt did to LSU with Blake, man, and they got the freshman guard. They're good. I think we can take Tennessee. Florida is scary. Um, let's see what happens with Bama. I having Oklahoma at home helps. If we can win Oklahoma next Sunday, I will talk to you again. I I I I think we can beat Oklahoma at home. I feel very good about the rest of the month of January. The month of February gets a little difficult. The month of February gets a little difficult. Hopefully, Tiana can be back at that time. So, if she is, that will help. I like it's the non-shooting arm. I think that's what I heard. If it's the non-shooting arm, that means she can get up some shots um, while being injured. Hopefully, she can stay in. She's in decent aerobic shape because she is a big piece of the puzzle. But as PLG said, hope we can weather the storm. All right, y'all. That's all I got. We had an hour. Came on a little later. Apologize, but hey, we still got this hour in. Again, as usual, like, comment, subscribe. If you're on the TikToks and you're watching the show, you're watching this broadcast, go follow your boy. If you're also on Twitter, I got the exact same handle. Go on over to Twitter and follow your boy. Just do it for shits and giggles. You ain't even gotta just mute. What is it? Just mute me. But you got to go follow your boy. Get those numbers up. What am I at? Twitter. What are my numbers at Twitter? I am at 7,000. I need to get to 10K. I'd like to see that 10 and a K next to my name. That what? 2,900. I need 2,900 followers. Um, if you like YouTube, I'm at Driving with Styles on YouTube. Driving with Styles. Go on over and subscribe. It's free, y'all. It's free. Subscribe to Driving with Styles on YouTube. I appreciate it. Other than that, I'm gonna try to be consistent with the less talk thing. I think it's going pretty well. I've tried all kinds of stuff, y'all. I try stuff all the time. So I think this is going pretty well. So do a big one for your boy. Bring a friend. Don't just bring one. Bring two, three, four, five. And have them do the same thing. Have them go follow your boy on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Happy New Year to everyone. And I'll probably see y'all tomorrow night. I am